the way I start it is I just go to walking them around. And I start off just bending their head, walking some circles, getting them to kind of frame and follow their face. And then, as I'm making this circle here, I switch the frame. Okay, he's framed to the right. I'm walking circles to the right. I'm going to take my left rein and push him to the right with my left hand. Now, the first time you do this, this isn't going to happen. He's going to get all steppy, goofy, not knowing where his feet are going and all that. So what I'll do is I'll just walk up, kind of frame it this way, lift that hand and push. When them feet step, I let go. Walk up, step, let go. Now you watch this horse. When I'm lifting here, I'm purposely leaning forward a little bit, and he quits going forward. So I kick him back forward. So you could see that. You do not want this horse to lower his feet down. He's got to keep right there. He's got to keep moving forward like that. Moving forward when you do it. That's why it's called forward motion. There. If you watch his feet, we want his front feet to cross over outside in front of the inside. Not like that. Outside, on top, or in front of the inside, like that. There we go. Okay, now go back and do the same thing to the left. This is one thing that I will teach on both sides of the horse quite readily. And what I mean by that, sometimes I'll tell you to take your horse and go to the left for 20 minutes and then go to the right for 20 minutes. Don't go back and forth. This is something I like to go back and forth, because what it does is right off the bat it teaches in the shoulders move back and forth, back and forth. So let's think about that for a second. If you're doing this and you're saying, my gosh, every time I pick up a rein, my horse jumps left or right. Well, then start doing it 20 minutes to the left and 20 minutes to the right. Don't be jumping back and forth. But the moral of the story is, if they're dull, get going back and forth right away. Then the horse gets a little jumpy about it, thinks about, oh, I better get him moving, I better get him moving. So anyways, that's a side light. Start off, head bent a little bit, just start raising that rein, keep that forward motion, make him turn. Good. There we go. Now, again, like the other way, when you start this, you walk a little bit, lift, turn. He steps, you let go. Lift, step, let's go. Okay, that's the key. Get them feet moving sideways. Okay, now, once we get that done, then I like to start a little exercise where you start going you make circles left with the left rein, with his head framed to the left. Now let me back up for a second before I go there. Got ahead of myself. If you watch, when I lift my rein and go here, I'm kicking with my right leg sometimes, and sometimes I'm kicking with both legs. The moral of the story is this. My hand is the cue. My hand is the cue here. My right hand across his neck, that's the cue. Okay? My legs are the gas pedal, saying, hey, keep going. Okay? There he goes. My legs are the gas pedal. So if I squeeze with my right leg more than my left at this point, this horse doesn't know a lot about hip control. So if I squeeze with my right leg more than my left, it just means move your right side of your body to the left. Like that. Now, if I get them to where he's just quits going forward on me, then I'll tap with both legs. Say, hey, come on, let's get forward and get moving. Same thing to the right. If I feel like he's not trying to turn hard enough, then I'll kick more with my left leg. That's more of a discipline, or slapping him around and say, hey, get them feet moving away from that pressure. Okay, so that's, my hand is the cue, my legs are disciplined, or my legs are the gas pedal. They're not the cue to move your shoulders left and right. Okay, now, next part of this is I'll do an exercise. I will start off and frame the horse to the left and jog a circle. And this horse has just got his head bent to the left a little bit. And then I'll jog a figure 8 with his head bent to the left. Now I'll start pushing, keep his head bent over to the left, and I'll just start pushing his shoulders to the right. I like to do this stuff at the jog, because that way I know I got forward motion. And if you watch, I'll switch direction facing the camera, and you'll see that all I do is push my hands the other way. My right hand is to the horn, my left hand's away from his neck. Now my left hand's to the horn, my right hand's away from his neck. But all the time, I'm pulling back more on my left rein than on my right rein to keep his head bent to the left. Okay? All this does is it starts to get this horse, as you can see, shoulders moving left and right pretty easily. All right? Like I said, we've been working on this horse for a few weeks now. Now, when I go to switch frames, I'll just switch the frame and stay going on a direction. Okay? He's framed to the right, going right. Now I switch my hands, he's framed to the left, or to the right, going to the left. Now right here, he's wanting to push through with my right rein if he's bent to the right, going to the left. So guess what? I made 2 circles going to the left. Don't say we got to make a figure 8 every time. If one side's not working real well, then we do that twice to once the other direction. Whatever the case may be. But we always, there he goes, hold the frame. Now once he gets the idea he can hold the frame, then what we'll do is we'll start to switch on the fly, okay? It's like here, I switch to the left frame, okay? Then I'll start to lift that right rein, push him through, and then I'll push him back over to the right, and then I'll switch the frame. So he's pushing over, not switch direction, then I'll switch direction. Now once you can do this, with that horse keeping his head down like this, you really start to understand, or you really can pretty much know that your horse is starting to understand just to move his feet. Doesn't matter where his head's at. We're just moving his feet around. We switch frame. Switch the frame, and then we switch the direction. Switch the frame, then we switch the direction. See that horse just really kind of dancing back and forth with his front legs. And that's what we're after. We want that horse thinking left, right, go wherever I'm telling you to go. Now, watch this. Once I get that done, it kind of seems like, yeah, that was all nifty and stuff, but who cares? Well, guess what? I can sit like this and just start directing him with my hands, and this horse is starting to guide. And I've never cut loose of him, let him drop his neck on the ground like this and just go around at a jog. You know, he's just kind of guiding wherever I point him. Nice and soft. And that's what the moral of the story is. Now, go lope. This is a first ride on this horse this morning, so loping some circles, you might get a little silly. But what I'll do at the lope, I don't switch direction so that the horse doesn't have to try and switch leads. But what I'll do is I'll just lope around and switch frames. I'm holding that outside rein, make him bend his head to the right, push him shoulders to the left. And he's like, God, you've been yelling at me about keeping that inside shoulder picked up, and now you're pushing me down on it. Well, I want to have control on both sides. So that's what I do. Oh. And I turn him back. Do the same thing this way. Come on, come on. Get to work. Come on. Frame right, going right. Switch to frame. Framing left. Go right. And you see right here, when you just saw what I just did there, that horse was scrambling to keep his feet underneath him. He's like, huh, huh, huh. That just means he's working harder. That means that he's having to put out a lot more energy. That means that he's not as collected or as balanced as he needs to be. So this works on balance, everything. You're knocking the horse different balances. He's having to use his feet to keep himself astride. And it's one of those exercises that the more you do it, the more the horse gets comfortable with it. You can do all kinds of things with your horse after